Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm so glad that you stopped by. What we're gonna do today is walk around the garden and just see what's going on. Because we've had some warm temps, a lot of things have been growing this last week, and so I'm gonna show you what's been growing, some things that I've done over the week, some new starts that I planted, and then also what I'm doing to gear up for the spring and even the summertime. So let's get started. All right, friends, well, I'm going to start in my garage first, in my little garden area, because part of having my garden is always having seeds germinating and going, so that I always have backups and backups for my backup. So I'm going to kind of just give you a quick view of everything that's going on in here. So we'll start from the top. These are all of my onions, leeks, and shallots. Thankfully, most of them germinated. So hopefully I can get these out within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to probably, I might separate them. I might leave them as is. I'm not really sure yet. And then down here are actually more varieties of onions and shallots, because I had purchased some seed from, oh goodness, I purchased seed from Seed Savers. Sorry for the car in the background, guys. Seed Savers, Johnny seeds. I think a lot of these were Johnny seeds because I wanted to try new varieties this year. So, and then we have some dill back there, and I think I have some rosemary back there as well. And then these are all the peppers. Some of them I actually saw germinated. They're back. Oh yeah, they're right back there. You see them? Let's see, I'll lift it up. Look at those, so pretty. I'm excited. I can't wait for peppers this summer. So I did have a separate video for the varieties I picked, as well as starting these. I can leave that in the description below. And then we have the ginger and the turmeric. These are pieces that I harvested from my own grow bags, and so I'm trying to regrow pieces that I already grew. And then the sweet potatoes, I showed this last week. I don't see anything growing yet as far as slips, so I hope that they start showing something, because then I'll have to purchase some, which isn't a big deal. That's fine. I was just hoping to grow my own. So far so good though. And then this is what I wanted to show you. I actually meant to show this to you last week. So I do overwinter pepper plants, but I do not overwinter tomato plants, because I just don't. But these are the Martha F1s, and for some reason last year I decided to just try overwintering just for fun, and you guys, it ended up giving me tomatoes right away, just like the peppers did last spring summer. They were the first ones to give me tomatoes, and so I took 4 cuttings of it. Look at how healthy they are. I mean, it's a little bit of purpling, which is it's to be expected when they're in a garage like this. But you guys, look at how beautiful. Look, there's some buds here. So I just take those off if they start to show some buds, just because I'm not ready for them to go outside. But I'll have these out once we have consistent warm temperatures, and they will give tomatoes. I'll show you guys as the weeks go on, but I'm very excited about these. So these I do overwinter. And then these right here I wanted to show you. These are all of my overwinter pepper plants that I had in a lot of garden tours last summer, because they gave me such an abundance of peppers. We have poblano peppers here, sweet bell peppers, and I also had a lot of jalapeno peppers. These little guys are jalapeno peppers, and they gave me so many peppers last year, so I saved them again. But I have them out here right now because we've been having some really warm temperatures, and so I just want to water them a little bit so that the soil doesn't get super hard, which it kind of did, because you know, life gets busy and I did not have time to water. So I'm watering them and giving them some air, and hopefully they'll be good to go. And the same goes with all of these plants. That's my aloe plant that my mother-in-law gave me, and there's that little cutie patootie pepper plant that my mother-in-law gave me too. So I have them all outside, my 2 lemon and limes, and then all of these pepper plants. Now, These pepper plants don't look like much because a lot of these were actually left last summer in their little pots because I was waiting for my last bed to be put in and it just didn't get put in time, and a lot of them actually started growing little peppers. So I said, let's get them in some bags, but you could see some of them just look pretty sad. So, but because we are starting so many pepper seeds in here, if these don't make it, I'll just put some new ones in here. I'll show you the 2 pallets up in the garden that I plan to put all these pepper plants on because I want a whole pallet of just pepper plants because we love peppers. So hopefully some of these will make it. If not, we have backups. You see the little lime right there? Right there, it's so cute. Now, if you don't own a lemon or lime tree, I highly encourage you to try growing one. The aroma from these flowers are just so lovely. And when we first picked a lemon and a lime from these, now granted, I haven't put a lot of attention on these the last couple years, but the ones that they did give us were so delicious, way better than any store-bought. So definitely worth having, especially because they take up space in the garage. It's worth it though. This year, my hope is to put a lot more attention on these because I really grew my garden a lot last summer. So it took a lot of my attention and time instead of putting it towards these trees. So hopefully this summer I'll have a lot more to harvest from these. And then those are just some extra starts. I'm just waiting for those to grow a little bit more. I'm excited to get those planted, and I'm probably going to start some more seed too for cauliflowers and broccolis and all that stuff just to be safe. And then these 2 are my blueberries. I have my raspberry here and my other raspberry here. And I have them here in the driveway so that my kiddos and I can just pick them off when we want to during the summer. But look, there's already blooms on here. They're all over and they're so pretty. They're so, so pretty. And then starting over here with my strawberries, a lot of those starts that I had started back in the, I think it was like fallish time. I can leave a link to that video below also. But a lot of them are growing very, very beautifully. So I cannot wait for those to start to develop strawberries. Now this one's already starting to flower, but I know we're still very early. It's just because we're getting a huge wave of warm days, but it is nice to see the green growth. So at least I know what's actually still living, and then spots that I would need to fill in, because strawberries, you can grow as many as you want just from the runners. I explain it in the video, which, like I said, I'll put that down below, but you don't ever have to buy strawberry starts. You could just either grow it by seed and grab a bunch of runners, or just at least buy 1 strawberry plant and then just keep taking the runners and establishing more strawberry plants. And then I'm not sure if you saw my video last week, but look at how much this grew. It's like warm weather just really does some really wonderful things to the garden. So these are doing really well. This is my perennial tower. I wanted a whole tower of perennials. So I plan to do just a GREENSTALK garden tour at some point when it gets a little bit more full, because I've designated a lot of these GREENSTALKs for specific things just to make my life a lot easier. And I've really enjoyed it that way. So for instance, these are both my strawberries with mint on top. This is my perennial tower with mint on top. I've made all 4 of these strictly for onions. And then we're gonna harvest a couple of kale leaves. And then these 2 are kind of like whatever I wanna put during whatever season. So like, obviously right now it's winter, so I'm putting cool weather crops in here. These are all the broccolis and the kales. And I do have 1 mint on top here, but I'm designating these just for whatever season we're in. And then these 4 right here are just strictly for my garlics. And then these two on the end are strictly for sweet potatoes. And then way back there, I have two other ones, which I might bring out here, I'm not sure yet, that are designated just for potatoes. And it's worked really well for me because that back there takes up so much of my time. Plus I have a ton of bags here against the wall. And so having established spots for certain things, especially perennials, helps a ton. Something else that I want to share that I've learned in my 4 years of gardening is adding perennials to my garden. And what that has done for me is not only encouraged me, because for me anyways, perennials are very difficult to kill and they keep coming back every year, which makes me feel very encouraged. But it has also saved me a lot of time in the garden, because when I designate a certain pot or a green stalk to a perennial, it allows me to have the time to put into other plants that need my focus and attention. So I just want to share that with you. These are so beautiful. Look at that. Love my kale leaves. Love them small like this. More grew since last week. Super exciting. Now, before we go up here and I show you all the starts that I planted and everything that's going on, I do want to quickly show you these metal carts. So what this is are all of my perennial herbs, from catnip to bee balm to lavender, oregano, thyme, and probably a rosemary. And what I did was I put them in individual bags. It allows me to grow more in one spot, but also let's say I needed to take care of one because it got, you know, a bunch of bugs on there or something, I could take this out without these having any issues. And so far this has worked for me, but I did just clean these out a few days ago. There's a bunch of, you know, leaves and dirt and all sorts of stuff. So I cleaned those out, but I just wanted to quickly show you because I really have enjoyed this. And like I said, it's worked for me to just come right out and snip off what I need, or to harvest a whole bunch at once and preserve it. Now it doesn't look like much now because obviously we're in winter time. Some has grown because we've had some warm weather, but I do plan to come out here and just add some more seed to it. I did start some seed for rosemary, but I think I'm just going to put some in here since these bags are designated for that particular herb. I'm just going to add some seed in there just to be safe. These I probably won't because they're clearly, you know, pretty well, but some of them I'm going to add a little bit more. All right, friends, well, I'm going to start with this first bed. This is my overwinter pepper bed, and I just wanted to see what was going on in here. It does look pretty dead. I don't know if they're going to work, but I'll see if stuff starts to grow. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to break. It feels pretty sturdy in here, and I've kept it watered with the water grid here, so only time will tell. But as you saw in the garage, I do have a lot of pepper seeds that are going to be growing, so I'm not too concerned. But you guys, if it works, this would be a game changer for me. But it could be a hit or miss depending on how the winter goes, because even though we had some nights that were really, really cold, you know, some winters are worse than others. And so I don't know, it could be that it worked this year and then next year it doesn't. So we'll see once it starts to get warm out. And then here is the other bed of broccoli. So things are growing, nothing to really, you know, harvest because we've had some really cold temps. But you guys, look at those pea shoots, they're growing. If you've been following my garden tours, a lot of these had died, and so I had planted seed and I wasn't sure if they were going to germinate. Not only have they germinated, but they withstand the cold nights, and so they're growing. But look at them. Aren't they beautiful? I think the frost cover, sorry, there's a gigantic mud puddle here, or mud pile. But I think the frost covers has helped a lot. and I'm really happy to see them. I'll probably fill those in this week and just pop some more seeds in there. And then this side as well, it's pretty much the same thing, no major growth. Now, I do plan to fertilize this one as well as the other bed that I just showed you. I did go ahead and fertilize some other beds, which I'll show you here in just a second. But look at, little pea shoots are shooting up, and I'm really happy to see them. So we're good to go. And it'll be a matter of time, and these broccolis will be, you know, showing some beautiful heads of broccoli. And as I said before, I have a lot of onion starts, so I'm probably going to put them in the corners. Last year in this bed, as well as this bed, I had rows of broccoli and cauliflower with onions and leeks, and I think the onions and leeks did a really good job of keeping pests away. Now there still was some pests, but for the most part they did a really good job, so that's what I'm gonna probably do again this year. Now these 3 beds I want to quickly show you because I did a lot of work on these actually yesterday. A lot of plants I had to replant, especially this bed, because of those millipedes. Yeah, they don't make me happy. But in this bed, I replanted a few starts. Let's see, where are they? Oh, right here, and here, and here. So we have pretty much just cabbages and Swiss chard, and I think we have a few broccolis if I remember. And then I do have carrots on the side here. This side's not growing as fast as this one. This one kind of bloomed a lot in the last couple of days, pretty much in the last week. So we'll see how those go on the side. And then I do plan, because we are getting warmer temperatures, I'm gonna replant some pea seeds along this trellis as well as the other side, because not only did I pull the peas that were along this trellis last time because they went bad, but I also had to pull it from these trellises as well. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and replant some of those. Now this bed, I was a bit disappointed, and it's partially my fault because, as you know, life gets busy. But last tour, after the tour, I came in here and I had put some, you could see some like white powdery stuff. I had put some DE in here to help with the millipedes. And while it seemed like it was working, we had such warm temperatures that keeping this on, I was not thinking to put that back. A lot of the cauliflower went to seed, all that beautiful cauliflower that I was showing you guys every week. So I came in and I put in some new cauliflower starts. They look really small right now, but I put some in here. Now, one thing I am excited about is, look at that, you guys. I got a broccoli sprouting. I'm very happy about that. So we have this one, and then this little guy too. If you can see him, he's right there. So those are doing really good. And these were the ones that the squirrels ate. And then I put this on and it protected it. So those are doing good. The turnips are okay. Again, I'm not gonna be doing that again next year. I think I'm gonna designate the squares to 1 or 2 plants depending on what I plant. And just leave it at that. Now I am going to be putting some cilantro at the end. Now is a great time to plant seed for cilantro because they do so well in the springtime. At least here they do in central Alabama. Now these I'm very excited about. So I showed these last week, how a lot of these grew back after the freezing temperatures that we had. So this one grew back, and then this one grew back. But since then, I've added some new red sails, and I'm really happy to have these in here, because my goal with having them in these large bags is to grow really large leaves of lettuce so that I can come right out and harvest these for, you know, lunch or dinner. Just come right down these stairs from my kitchen up there and come over here and clip off some lettuce leaves. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. And then Brussels sprouts are pretty much the same. I'm just gonna hope that they grow tall. This one seems to be growing a bit tall here. I mean, that was my problem last year. So if anybody that's watching has had a lot of success with Brussels sprouts. If you can throw any suggestions or tips down below, I'd be happy to take them, because while they all look very beautiful, and maybe now that it's going to get warmer, they'll start to grow taller. I've always had stunted Brussels sprouts, and I don't like to give up easily. Now you can see the onions are sticking out. They're doing great. I don't usually have a really hard time with onions. Sometimes I get small onions, but for the most part, I do pretty well. But Brussels sprouts are hard for me. And then this bed as well, I finally added some new ones down here next to this Brussels sprout, which I don't think anything's gonna come of that, but I'm gonna leave it there anyways. But the Swiss chard has grown since the last tour, so that's nice to see. And then I did add some cabbages. They all look really tiny and small. That's a red rock mammoth. I've never grown those before. And then I think the other one is savory perfection. Never grown them before. And then the Napa cabbage, let's see, 1 kilo slow bolt. I'm looking forward to growing that one as well. I actually learned about that variety from Jess from Roots and Refuge, because she grows in somewhat of a similar climate. I went ahead and bought them, and hopefully they work well for me here. Now, I don't show this a lot except for during spring or summer when they start to grow, but I did want to show you that since we've had some warm temps, you can see this is my comfrey box. Comfrey is a great perennial. Not only is it beautiful, but you could use it for so many things. But look at all the little green shoots that are growing. This is what I mean about like a confidence booster, because it's just growing back, and I'm not doing a whole lot to this bed except watering it. So perennials are one of my favorite things to grow. And then I don't ever show this either, just because right now it's winter time, but this is my elderberry tree. And look at all the little sprouts. It's because we've had warmer weather, but I just wanted to show it to you because they're so pretty. Now this bed is still pretty much in its newbie stage, but I did want to show you some of the broccoli that's been growing. This has been getting bigger. And then the kale over here at the end has been growing quite a bit. I'm excited about that. Now I just fertilized this bed because you can see there's a lot of purpling in the leaves. So I just fertilized this last night. Hopefully that gives it some good nutrition and helps the plants grow. So you guys, I went ahead and I replanted my kale. I think these sensors, which I have off right now because I don't want it to hurt your ears, and I don't plan to keep them in the bed. I'm gonna have my husband probably put like some sort of a stand with them on so it can cover pretty much every angle of the garden. I just ordered 4 more of these because they have been working really well. I haven't seen any squirrels. So with that being said, that is why I went ahead and planted kale. I just planted these last night because one, these starts really needed to be planted. Otherwise I was gonna lose them anyways. And I also haven't had any issues. So I figured, okay, we're just gonna plant them. And then because of that, I went ahead and I filled all of these bags with cabbages, except 2 were already full. They already had 2 cabbages in there. And then this cauliflower is doing good. This is a self-blanching cauliflower. It's still going strong. So that's good to see. I'm happy to see that. Which reminds me, I wanted to show this to you because some of these, like I showed last week, they were growing back. And so far, I think, because these were the same ones that were under the frost cover and they flowered. Now, I can't tell if these are gonna flower on me because they look like they've been pushed back quite a bit from the freezing temp. So I'll just have to keep an eye on this. But I am gonna fill in the rest of these bags as well as the rest of these pallets. So next week I'll show you what I did. But yesterday I did fill some of these bags. This is cabbages. These are kale. That's a cabbage. That's my lavender that's been going strong. So I'm gonna leave this in here. And then, let's see, no, I didn't plant these. So these pallets I will be planting either today or tomorrow, and I'll show you those on the next garden tour. I don't want to forget because I tend to do that very easily. These two pallets were the pallets that I was talking about for the peppers. Now, what I plan to do with these two, and we just haven't had a chance to do it, my husband had put some boards underneath these to prop them up because our property it just slants down. And so he was doing this to even it. Now these, I kind of propped them up with rocks and stuff, the ones in the back. That was probably a little bit more even than right here at this point of the yard. So we're gonna do the same thing here, and this is where the peppers will be. And then these are my perennial pots. These are all lemon balm. And then these pots as well are my perennials. So this is the St. John's wort. You can see it's already starting to grow. So these are my St. John's wort, and then that's another chamomile. And so that's what I plan to do over here, is put all the perennials as well as those pepper plants in the bags that I showed you on the driveway. Well, friends, let's go ahead and see what we got today. So we got ourselves some more kale. So the kale from last week, I already put it in the freeze dryer to get it ready for the freeze dryer because I like to make powder with this. And so I will just clean this up and add to it, and then probably just keep harvesting a little bit each week until I have 4 full trays for the freeze dryer. But super excited about harvesting this week. Well, friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I always look forward to seeing you guys next time. And I want you to always remember, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.